Hi guys, I want to have a serious conversation with you guys. I'm going to try to make this video not too long, okay? But I'm going to say this before I even start, okay? If there's any of you guys who are very sensitive in spirit, as in like, more not even sensitive in spirit, because you have to be sensitive in spirit to understand this, but as in if you have a very scared mind, you may want to click off now, okay? If you have a scared mind. And also, if you have a scared mind, how are you going to elevate? You see, if you have a scared mind, you're not able to elevate. If you want to get to where God needs you to be, you can't have a scared mind, because there's certain information that you need to get to the next level. You can't have a scared mind if you want to get to a purpose relating to where God needs you to be. If the purpose is big, the bigger the obstacles. Let's just say that. The bigger the purpose, the bigger the obstacles. But you can't have a scared mind. So if you have a scared mind and you don't want to hear what I'm going to say, just click off right now, okay? Those who have ears to hear and those who have eyes to see will understand this, okay? So I'm going to start off by saying this. This is not to put energy into anyone that talks or comments on my channel and stuff like that. No, it's just literally, there's a lot of knowledge I want to give you guys about this, but somebody said, basically, I'm putting out videos to scare people and bring fear in people. Listen, if you have a scared mind, you can't elevate. If you don't know the devil's plots before it happened, how are you going to elevate? Let me ask you guys something. Okay, so many of you guys want to be directors. Many of you guys want to be writers. Many of you guys want to be musicians. Many of you guys want to be doctors. Many of you guys want to be lawyers. Many of you guys want to be in ministry. And many of you guys, you have all these career dreams, and God has shown you that you're going to get there. God has shown you your purpose. God has shown you the missions that you're going to be on, right? But let me ask you guys a question. If these are the types of things you guys want to do, and you know your purpose is big, and you know you're a chosen one, because God told you you're a chosen one, and you know that you're going through warfare, you're going through all these obstacles because you're a chosen one, how are you going to get to this purpose? How are you going to get to the end all be all of your prophecy if you're in jail? How? If you're in jail? How are you going to get to this purpose if you've been taken out before your time? Before God even wanted to call you home, and he's been warning you, and the devil gets to you, how are you going to get to that purpose? How are you going to get to that purpose if you're on house arrest? How are you going to get to that purpose if you're on heavy drugs and you're homeless on the street? How are you going to get to that end all be all prophecy if you're in the mental hospital, if you're in the psych ward? You see? And the reason why I'm saying this is because, let me tell you something. You can't get to your purpose if you're in any of these categories. And that's the point. That's why people have been assigned to you. That's why the devil keeps provoking you. That's why the devil uses people to provoke you. Because if you're provoked to that extent, to where you're in jail, and you're stuck in jail, you can't get to where God needs you to be. If you're on house arrest, you're delayed to get to where God needs you to be. If you have specific charges on your record, now it's affecting you wanting to be a doctor. Now it's affecting you wanting to be a lawyer. Now it's affecting you. You want to be a children's book writer. Okay, you're going to go do a children's book. Now people are going to look up your record and see that you can't, you have charges on you for whatever, and they don't want to buy your children's book. Okay, you go out there, people will do witchcraft on you and send spirits to you and provoke you, and then you start to snap on people, and then you start to go out there and tell the wrong people, I'm hearing voices, I can hear demons, I can hear spirits, I can hear this, I can hear that, and then you end up in a psych ward, and then they start feeding you that medication, and then when they start feeding you that medication, your mind's going even more insane, because now you depend on the medication. Do you get what I'm saying? And now you're in and out of the hospital every few months because you don't have the knowledge about this stuff. See, when you don't have knowledge about this stuff, that's how the devil can trick you and get you to that place. What happens if you don't have wisdom and knowledge about certain warfares that try to keep you sick, try to keep you in bed, so you can't go out there, you can't fight, and then what happens is you lose your job. And now when you lose your job, because you can't go to work because the warfare kept you sick, right? Because what they're doing to you kept you sick. Now you can't get out of bed. And now that you can't get out of bed and go to work and you lost your job, now you can't pay your bills. Now you're homeless. And now because you're homeless, you're stressed out, you're depressed. Now you're going to go drink alcohol. Now you're going to do drugs. Now you're homeless on the street doing hardcore drugs because the alcohol and the weed didn't do anything for you. Now you need something even harder like meth, or you need something harder like crack or whatever to bring you to another level of your high so you don't have to focus on reality anymore. That's how people's lives get destroyed. So when I put out prophetic warnings, it's not no joke. I don't just wake up in the morning, I'm going to warn somebody prophetically today. No, when I put out a prophetic warning, it's because God wants you to take heed of something. That assault with a deadly weapon, when I heard the Lord say that, I knew it had to do with court, because only court speaks that way. Only court will say assault with a deadly weapon. Only court would say that. That's something you would hear in court, which means that somebody is being provoked. Now that I put the pieces together, and me making videos about the narcissist and don't give in to this, don't even give it attention. God told me there's a lot of people on the channel that are finding their way back to him, or finally learning about Christ, and a lot of people who are changing their ways, which means that some people have anger issues. Some people have been bullied and poked their whole life, and all it takes is just one more attempt for them to snap. And I told you guys about Miracle May right around the corner, and this is why people are provoking people. Because miracles are right around the corners. Doors are opening for people. God said mustard seed may. Mustard seed means all you need is faith as small as a mustard seed for that door to open. And then you're on your way towards that breakthrough. That door is going to finally open in May for a lot of people. And that's why narcissists are coming back around. I know a guy that basically, this girl was doing heavy witchcraft on this guy. Heavy witchcraft on this guy. And this girl had the nerve to take him to court. To try to make him look bad in front of the judge, when the whole time he was the actual victim. And he won the case. But she was doing heavy witchcraft and trying to make him look bad. And she would gaslight him. You know that story from Cinderella? In Cinderella, remember the cat Lucifer? How the cat was taunting Bruno, and the cat sliced Bruno in the face, and when Bruno barked at the cat, right, it looked as if the dog was being aggressive to the cat, when it was the other way around. And then guess who got in trouble? Bruno. The dog got put out, but the cat was provoking the dog. That's my point. When God gives us these messages, it's for us to be 10 steps ahead, because he wants us to know what's in store. He wants us to know what the devil is doing, and the devil is using people to taunt at us, to provoke us, to get us to act out of our character. You have to understand that getting arrested, having a record, being in the psych ward, all that stuff, doing heavy drugs and all that stuff that they're trying to get you to do. These are the type of things they'll do to keep you stuck. Let me read the list that he gave me, okay? There's either they're going to take you out, you're going to be in jail, mental hospital, psych ward, sick in your home, heavy on drugs, homeless on the street. If you're in any of these categories, how are you going to get to where God needs you to be? How? And these are the categories they want you to be in. Any one of these categories. This is why you have to be 10 steps ahead. You have to be 10 steps ahead. Right? So when you hear prophetic warnings like this, just take heed of it. Not to scare you, but for you to understand that we are in war and God is training us right now. While we are in war, God is training us. And when we are in war, we got to be aware of our enemies. We got to be aware of who the devil can use. Because if they can't do any of these, they will just try to destroy your name. That's why you got to be careful of how you speak to people, how you act, your actions towards others, because that's what they want. If they can't do any of these, they'll try to ruin your name. So when people hear your name, it's associated with negativity. When they hear your name, they don't want to work with you. When they hear your name, they're turning away. They're turning a blind eye on you. Right? You got to take heed of these warnings. It's not to scare nobody. It's so you can elevate. You can elevate. When you listen, the best form of vindication is success. If you really want to get these people where it hurts, succeed. Do the opposite of what they're trying to get you to do. That's what you have to do. Do you think getting to God, this is for those who have a scared mind. I'm trying to tell you, don't be afraid. Don't be scared when you got God on your side. You can't be scared. Even when I see visions and certain dreams that God shows me in visions and God gives me certain warnings, back in the day, I used to get scared. I don't get scared no more because I know he's trying to protect me. You know how much times I would have a vision of me getting into a car accident and God would say that day, do not go on the road. And why do I take heed of that? Because I know that God said it's not my time yet. So I ain't going to go on. See, my car just started. I ain't going to go on the road. If God said take heed of this and don't go on the road, I'm not going to go on the road. But did the vision scare me? Yeah. But it scared me enough for me to listen. That's the point. When God gives you guys these types of warnings, it's for y'all to listen. Do you think getting to your purpose, being a chosen one, do you think getting to your purpose is going to be a skip through the flower field? A skip through the dandelion field? No. If it was that easy, everybody would be successful right now. Everybody would be living their purpose right now. Everybody would be living their dreams right now. If it was that easy, you wouldn't have enemies right now. If it was that easy, you wouldn't be going through warfare right now. It's not that easy, and it's not supposed to be that easy. So just like God has you promised you good, you have to understand that he's going to also show you what's in store. The messages that he's been telling me for this week is protect your peace. They're going to come out of the woodworks the ending of April because we are almost into May, where the Miracle May and Mustard Seed May doors are about to open, and they're all coming out the woodworks. And he said specifically narcissists. That's what he said. Specifically narcissists. Because they're trying to provoke people. If they can't get you in any one of them categories, like I said before, they want to try to ruin your name by getting you to react. So when you react, it's your own fault. They can't be blamed for how you chose to act. So they can sit there and twist it and be like, see, I told you she was aggressive. I told you he was aggressive. I told you she was a liar. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't let anybody ruin your image. Don't let anyone ruin your name. Don't let anyone cause you to act out of your character. Because I'm telling you right now, listen, the only way the devil's going to succeed is if you taken out, okay? If you're locked up in jail to where you can't do nothing, unless you write a book in jail, or you're held back because now you have charges, or you can't do that mission, that purpose that God gave you, that God has for you to do, whether to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever now, because now you have a criminal record. I mean, God can always give you something else to do. Do you get what I'm saying? That could be prosperous, but why put yourself in that position where you're being held back? Why do that to yourself? You've been held back your whole life from many, many people. Why put yourself in that position because someone chose to provoke you? See, when you have knowledge about this stuff, you can prevent it. You can prevent it. You get what I'm saying? So for those of you guys saying, oh, I'm putting out fear to people to scare them, you can go somewhere else with that scared mind. Because y'all said the same thing to me before COVID happened, when I put out that COVID message. And guess what happened? COVID happened. The prophecy came to pass. What happened when the prophecy came to pass? Crickets. Right? It's about elevating in Christ. And a lot of people are not going to talk to you about warfares and the attempts of the devils because they're afraid to. But then how are you going to succeed and elevate if you don't know these types of attempts, especially if you're a new person coming into Christ? And you're learning about Christ, especially if you're someone that has, aggressiveness in the past, you're trying to change, or you're someone that's very sensitive and you're easily provoked and you don't understand warfare, especially if there's someone that doesn't understand your gifts and, you don't know what they can do when they put you in the psych ward and you can't use your gifts the right way now because you're locked up or you're drugged up now. Okay, especially if you're someone that doesn't know what's happening while you're sick every single day. And now you can't get up and fight every day because you don't have knowledge about it. So now you end up homeless now because you can't pay your bills. This is why this type of information is important, to avoid all this stuff. Do you think a lot of the homeless people, do you think that if they knew about warfare, they would be where they are right now? No, they probably wouldn't. There's a lot of anointed homeless people. But the reason why some of them are where they are right now is because they had no idea that they were being tricked into doing drugs. They were being tricked into being sick. I know a lot of people who are homeless, who used to be millionaires, who used to have money. And guess what? They ended up there because there was witchcraft being done to them. But because they didn't know anything about it, they allowed themselves to get to that position because they decided to stay in bed all day and feed into it. feed into being sick and not fight back. Not fight back, not do warfare prayers. You get what I'm saying? Because they had no knowledge about it. That's the point. Okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.